Grab your popcorn. Illegals turn on Dems over yet another Daca failure by Amy Moreno for TruthFeedNews.com. Grab your popcorn. The Democrat Party is in a complete shambles. Try as they may to put illegals above Americans, they're still not able to pull off a win. Once again, Democrats failed to protect their precious new voting base of illegals, and they're spitting mad. Time to grab the popcorn and enjoy the show. From the Washington Times, illegal immigrant dreamers descended on Democrats' national headquarters in Washington on Monday, staging a sit-in and vowing to make sure the party gets at least some of the blame as Congress slipped past President Trump's March 5th deadline for action on Daca. While the deadline lacked the urgency it once had, thanks to several court decisions keeping the Obama-era tentative deportation amnesty going, it maintains much of its political salience. The protesters who blocked the doors to the Democratic National Committee on Monday said there is blame to spread around, but they wanted to make sure Democrats felt much of the pressure, accusing the party's leaders of a decade of betrayal, culminating in this week's failure. This party has shown me nothing but pain, said Maria Duarte, a Daca recipient dressed in pink Hello Kitty pajamas and clutching a stuffed animal as she blocked the doors. She was choked with emotion as she shouted through a bullhorn, saying she lost family members to enforcement under the Obama administration. President Obama created the Daca Arrivals program in June of 2012 as he was campaigning for re-election. The protesters said the move was designed to stave off potential electoral disaster. More than 800,000 people won protection over the years, and some 683,000 people are currently protected. They have renewable 2-year stays of deportation, are entitled to work permits, which can earn them driver's license, Social Security numbers, and even some taxpayer benefits. But the program was legally suspect. Facing threats of a lawsuit, Mr. Trump last year announced a phase-out, giving Congress 6 months to come up with a more permanent solution. Now it's the phase-out that is legally troubled. 2 federal courts have ordered Mr. Trump to keep processing renewal applications, making the March 5th deadline less critical. Yet a 3rd federal judge ruled late Monday upholding Mr. Trump's phase-out. For now, the decision does not surmount the original 2-court ruling. Judge Roger W. Titus' 30-page opinion does give some legal heft, as the Justice Department defends the president's decision in higher courts. Activists, meanwhile, said March 5th remained the critical political deadline, serving as a milepost with midterm elections looming and both sides looking to avoid blame on the issue, where an overwhelming majority of voters believe the Dreamers deserve legal status. DNC Chairman Tom Perez said it was Trump's cruel and reckless decision to phase out Daca that spurred an unnecessary crisis. And now his arbitrary deadline has passed without any action from the president or Republicans in Congress, Mr. Perez said. Yeah, Mr. Perez, blame it on the Republicans instead of the Democrats. Indeed, most immigrant rights groups, while wishing Democrats had fought more strenuously to place blame on Mr. Trump and defend a program that they used to decry as a Band-Aid solution. But the activists who protested outside DNC headquarters Monday said Democrats missed too many chances to help. You are losing people in this party, said Roberto Juarez, an organizer with the Seed Project, which staged Monday's protest. He held up his voter registration card and recounted his days of working to elect Mr. Obama in 2008. I lied to my community because I told them we could pass immigration reform in the first 100 days if we voted him in, Mr. Juarez said. What happened? More deportations than any other president. Protesters said Democrats had multiple chances to force the issue over the past few months by holding up government funding until legal status was granted. Democrats did force a brief government shutdown in January, but quickly relented in exchange for promises of a Senate debate. When that debate began, however, it was anticlimactic. Democrats first blocked the freewheeling floor fight all sides had expected, and every plan was defeated when the voting finally began. The most promising option, a proposal negotiated by moderates from both parties and embraced as Democrats' leading option, fell 6 votes shy of the 60 needed to overcome a filibuster. That plan would have coupled a generous pathway to citizenship and a tentative deportation amnesty for all 11 million illegal immigrants with border wall funding and small limits on chain migration. Wow, 11 million. Thank God it fell through. The House, meanwhile, has shunned a floor debate altogether. A group of conservatives led by Representative Bob Goodlatte, Virginia Republican and chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, has written a bill that offers a continuation of the Daca program with critical congressional approval in exchange for major enforcement enhancements and changes to legal immigration policy. But House Republican leaders who tested the bill's popularity among their ranks say it's short of that support needed, and it's unclear whether they can bridge the gap. Democrats predict that if Republicans relented and brought up one of several bipartisan bills, such as a proposal to extend a generous pathway to citizenship in exchange for promises of future border security, they would be majority support to pass it. At a press conference Monday, members of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus said it was shameful for Republican leaders not to hold votes. They also predicted that Mr. Trump would take the brunt of the blame. Let's all be clear that President Trump ended Daca. The responsibility lies on his shoulders. Representative Raul Cruz, California Democrat, told reporters at the press conference. The White House said Mr. Trump has done his part, pointing to his middle ground proposal that compelled citizenship rights for up to 1.8 million illegal immigrants, with a plan to build his border wall, limit the chain of family migration, and change the law to allow for faster deportation of new illegal immigrants. Democrats, though, called the enforcement changes too harsh, while House conservatives said the amnesty was too generous. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders said it was absolutely terrible that Congress had failed to act. The president gave Congress 6 months, and he also gave them a plan, she said. They claimed to want to fix Daca. The president laid out a pathway and an exact way to do that. They failed to address it, but we're still hopeful that Congress will actually do their job, show up and get something done and fix this problem, not kick it down the road and not continue to ignore it. Well, 11 million illegal immigrants with border wall funding and a small limit on chain migration, I think that was too generous of an offer. And the Democrats didn't take it because they don't want the wall and they don't care. So there you have it, folks. I hope they go to Chuck E. Schumer's house and they start banging on the drums again in front of his house. That'd be a nice ending to this this story. It's crazy because you know what the thing is? They're illegal. It's true. They're illegal and they're demanding from another country to give them legal status. when they're illegal. You have no rights in this country. So what are you demanding? You can't demand something that where you don't belong. I mean, it's just outrageous. And even Trump, to allow 11 million and just cut the chain migration, I thought that was a very, very fair deal. And the Democrats didn't want it because of the border wall. You know, this is like, I mean, because I wouldn't have agreed to this. If it was me, I would not agree to 11 million people. And, you know, meanwhile, in all those years, who was footing the bill for these illegals and paying for them? The American taxpayer. Then you wonder how come America's in such a mess, right? How come America's in such a disastrous mess? Yeah, that's a very good question. Paying for all these illegals instead of taking care of their own, and then throwing the veterans to the side where they can't even get medical attention because there's no good funding available. And we're paying for the illegals that could care less about this country or its rules or its laws, and they want to push their views onto this country. No, no way. Ship them out. Ship them out, put extra security at the border, and bottom line, that's all you need. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and again, thank you so much for watching.